and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2019 video. No choices by James because Leslie knew exactly what she wanted to watch. Because today we are watching The Collection. Yes, you knew
You
it was
had
coming.
to, could not watch that.
The only reason why we wouldn't be watching is if I didn't own it, right?
Or I'd find it on Netflix or something.
Yeah, she'd probably track it down. Yeah, then we'd end up with another Hatchet problem. But that's a different 31 Days of Horror altogether. You're going to have to go watch past ones to see what that was all about. But yeah, we are going to check out the sequel to the previous film, The Collector, with The Collection. I don't believe there are any more in the series, but if there are, comment down below. Thoughts? What do you think is going to happen? Think it's good? Think it's bad?
Well, I read the back, which I know I'm not.
Cheater.
That's what Sarah said. It's not cheating. I need to know, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm not gonna like it as much as the other one because it's a sequel. But it has a kind of interesting premise, so I'm a little hopeful. You don't know because you didn't.
I don't know anything that's on the back because I'm just going into this blind. But seeing as how this is a sequel, and when we, our big thing was we wanted to know some of the backstory of the Collector. Sequels, especially number 2s, often tell you backstory of the character.
I don't know. If
So
in there.
I think I'm going to enjoy the Collection because we're going to find out a little bit more about the Collector.
I hope we do. I hope so.
And I figure it's going to be the same budget and the same look and all that kind of stuff. So that will be, the same as the one before. So yeah, I'm predicting that I will enjoy this film.
I'm predicting I won't.
Okay. 1 for, 1 against. Let's check it. Well, we're going to check it out and come back and tell you what we actually think. And we're back with The Collection. Yes, The Collection, sequel to The Collector. And it's not surprising that the writer-director from The Collector is back, because I guess it's his movie, so I'm not surprised. This particular film does not really give that background for The Collector that I was kind of looking for. This is essentially another Collector happening where the Collector is collecting people, and you get to see his collection, kind of. So essentially he kidnaps, or he collects, a girl who happens to be the daughter of somebody with a lot of money, and the returning from the first movie, Mr. Arkin, played by Josh Stewart again. He, in the opening scene, the Collector is killing a bunch of people, and he's the guy in the box. And so he gets let out of the box, and sort of essentially he's like, screw this crap, I'm out of here, and he busts out a window and falls and still manages to live. So the girl gets kidnapped from this opening. We'll call it a scene, though it's quite a bit going on. And her father decides that he's going to use his money and his influence to get Arkin to help him get back his daughter, whether he wants to or not. So that's essentially what it is. They end up going to the Collector's, we'll call it lair, and going through whatever the Collector's got going on at home in order to try and get this girl back. The girl is played by Emma Fitzpatrick. She doesn't really do much in the film, but she's there for a good portion of it. I didn't recognize her, but she's done a decent amount of work. She was started off in The Social Network as Sharon. So if you've seen that film, you may recognize her from that. She was also Kara in Time, you know, that Justin Timberlake sci-fi film, before coming to The Collection. And then she's done a whole bunch of one-offs and television shows and such. Then she apparently came around back to genre and did Blood-Sucking Bastards. I think that was the feature film that was adapted from the short film about vampire business people or something like that. I don't think I've seen the feature, but I have seen the short. So that's cool. Her father is played by somebody you'd probably... There's a lot of people actually in this film. Well, not a lot, but a few people in this film you'd probably recognize them to see them, even though you don't know the name. Christopher McDonald. Anybody? No? But you, right off the bat, said, yeah, that guy looks familiar. What's he from? Well, with 208 listings on IMDb, you know you've probably seen him somewhere, right? But trying to think where... If you saw the Hearse, that killer car movie from 1980, he was Pete in that. Grease 2. For all of you Grease lovers out there, he played the part of Goose, which is... I know that's where, if you've seen Grease 2, you're going to recognize him right off the bat. If you've seen the comedy Where the Boys Are, he plays Tony. Chattanooga Choo Choo, you know, not the original Chattanooga Choo Choo, but the 1984 Chattanooga Choo Choo. For all of you 80s kids who are all down with breaking, you know, you loved your break dancing. He was James in Breakin'. He honestly, the guy, this is why we probably recognize him. He's in so many 80s films and like all over the board, right? The Boys Next Door, Triple Cross, he was in all sorts of things. While he was doing film, he's also doing television shows like Twilight Zone and like Hunter and such. And then I know that there was stuff somewhat recently. 3 episodes of Matlock.
Well,
Trying to think. Thelma and Louise, right. He was Daryl in Thelma and Louise. Wild Orchid 2, he was Senator Dixon. As he started getting later on in his career, he started playing more roles of like leadership, or like a teacher, or a politician or something like that. A lot of those type of things. And Grumpy Old Men, he was Mike. You know, like I could go on and on. The guy's been in so many different things. Quiz Show, Monkey Trouble, Midnight Runaround, Midnight Run for Your Life, Another Midnight Run. Yes, all of those midnight things. He was the Jack Walsh character. So if you saw those TV movies way back when, he was in those. But lately, and this is where I told her that I knew, you know, I recognized him right off the bat. Mr. Sandler put him in Happy Gilmore as Mr. Shooter McGavin. And that's where I right off the bat knew where he was from. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see him in this film because he's done so many bit parts here and there. But at the same time, I am kind of surprised to see him in this film. The Collector as a character is back, but it's not the same actor.
you wouldn't know the difference.
You wouldn't know the difference because you don't see his face in either film. But not the same actor, different guy playing it. This time it's Randall Archer, who is essentially a stunt guy. So you wouldn't know where he's from. There is the essentially to go get this girl in the film. There's sort of like a group of mercenaries. One of them, the leader of the mercenary group, I guess, is the family bodyguard because he said he was like protecting the girl ever since she was a little, right? So I'm guessing either it's the family butler who happens to be a bodyguard or something. I don't know. But he's played by Lee Tergesen, who again may not know the name, but you should know the face. If you ever watched Oz, big role for him there was Tobias Beecher. Wayne's World, he was the Terry guy. You know, remember Terry from Wayne's World? If you saw lately The Purge, he played Joe Owens, or if you watched Daredevil, the TV show, he played Paxton Page. But yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys, again, so many different roles. Defiance, Castle, In the Dark, American Horror Story, 1984. We haven't seen yet, so I can't tell you what he's in that because we haven't seen that one. But yeah, he's in that. And then there was one other person in this film that I recognized, and he's a bit part, and it's Andre Royo, who is just one of the mercenaries. But he's got one of those faces that you just kind of know if you've seen him around. And he never really plays an important role. I don't think he's ever really played an important role. Except for maybe in The Wire. Yes, The Wire. He played Bubbles. Remember Bubbles from The Wire? That's the guy. But of course, he's been in Terminator, Chronicles, Heroes, Criminal Minds, Numbers, CSI. He played Hamilton in the movie Super, if you ever saw that. But yeah, I recognized him from The Wire because I've watched The Wire probably 3 times at least. You should correct that. It's one of the best television series ever made. No, it is. You ask anybody, comment down below. You've seen The Wire. Is it not one of the best television shows ever made? You may not like it, but it is one of the best television shows ever made.
So I don't want to watch that then.
Well, it's about cops versus like gangs and stuff. Yeah. But yeah. So those are essentially the people involved in this particular outing of the Collector and his... I'm still not sure what his collection really is.
It's dead people.
But...
Well, and parts of people. Wait, is that a spoiler?
I don't... Well...
Did I just ruin everything?
Here's the thing. We'll go spoiler... We'll just say spoiler here just in case. What we learn from this film is, in terms of backstory, if you call it backstory, is he collects... he only keeps one person from everything he does. 2, he then tests you, and if you pass, you become part of his collection, which, as far as you could tell, if you became part of his collection, it meant he killed you. Or if you don't pass to become part of his collection, he kills you.
So either way, you're screwed.
So, yeah. I'm really not sure what his collection is. It's like he only keeps the best specimens, but then he just sort of mutilates them and turns them into other things anyways, I guess. I don't know. Pause it here. Yeah, I don't quite get it. I think there was supposed to be some kind of a taxidermy theme going on, though he was like an entomologist or something. So, do those necessarily go together? I don't know. But yeah, your thoughts. What did you think about this sequel? Was it as good as the first? Was it better? Was it worse?
Well, my prediction was right. I didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
Well, I mean, it had its moments. You don't know. You didn't watch. You know, like there was some stuff in it that I was just like, oh God, you know. So that's always good. But no, I don't think I would say that I liked it as much as the first one.
Well, your prediction was you wouldn't like it. The first one you said you gave it a 3.
No, I know.
Yeah, I am on the same boat as her in terms of the fact that I didn't like it as much as the first one. I don't know if it's for the same reason. I didn't get the backstory that I kind of wanted, but that's okay. My problem was, and it's often a problem with sequels, you know that whole adage, we killed in the first one, but we're going to ramp that up in the second one. We're going to, more bodies, more crazy, traps. The a la Saw and such. The reason why the Saw movies tended to work for the most part is a lot of the traps stayed small. Whenever they brought the traps back down to like something that seemed like somebody could actually build them, those were the most effective Saw traps in Saw movies. When the traps started getting really weird and elaborate, laser helmets, whatever, you start to lose. Well, you lost me in terms of the audience, and it was kind of the same with this. I don't want to give anything away, but we'll say yes, it's in his lair, so you expect more elaborate traps, but the most elaborate trap happens in the opening scene. Now, I get it. The opening scene is supposed to draw you in as the viewer. It's supposed to be crazy and all that kind of stuff, but when the amount of work to make a trap is crazy, so crazy, and it's not actually at his house where the craziest trap should be, that's disappointing. And B, it's a little over the top. In the first movie, we couldn't figure out how he set these traps so quickly.
Yeah, seriously.
In this one, you don't have to worry about that. Because the 2 locations, he could have set these traps beforehand. Right? And then, the location for the first one, sure, beforehand or at any point in time, before the actual event happens, he sets these traps and everything goes off. He could have been putting on the event in general, and that was the whole point. Then all the rest of the traps are at his home. Right? So, that being said, his lair, we'll call it his lair, he's had who knows how long to set these traps up, and yet, for the most part, they weren't even as good as the traps that he set up really, really quickly in somebody's house. I don't know, I didn't get why, I wasn't impressed with the traps, let's just say it that way. I was not impressed with the traps. They were either way over the top, or we saw them already in the first film, or there wasn't enough of them. They're really, this is his lair, and people are, from what we can gather, are supposed to be trying to get out and pass all these tests that he's set, or something, and yet, as far as I could tell, you could pretty much walk around, and as long as you didn't hit, 1 of 5 traps, you could make it to the door.
Yeah.
Right?
That was a little...
I don't know. And it was one of those things where the guy mentioned that it was like a maze inside, and yet it didn't seem like there was any splits. They just kept walking, and if they got to an end, you turned. It would be like, you get to an end, you can only go left. Okay, we're going left. Every once in a while, you get to places where there'd be doors, but the doors always seem to be locked. So you only really had... It really felt like it was... if you've ever been to a haunted house attraction, that type of a thing where, yes, it looks like multiple rooms and stuff like that, but you can only ever go one way. That's what the film felt like. It really did feel like maybe it was shot in a haunted house attraction. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But that's the feeling I got from the film. And that's... I was disappointed by that. At the same time, it was hard to keep track of where the hell they were. Whoa! These guys are coming to get us.
Good Lord.
You need to stay there, man.
I don't want this thing next to me here.
So, yeah, I was disappointed in this film. Visually, It's on par with the first film. It seems to have... these guys were behind this, like a bunch of the Saw films, so they're running the same type of budgets. They're running the same type of look. A lot of it is very, very similar in style. So if you're into the Saw films, you'll probably be into the, you know, the Collector and the Collection. But yeah, I didn't quite get what I wanted from this film. And what I was given wasn't great. Or was disappointing. We'll just say that. But that said, what kind of rating would you give this one?
2.
2? Yeah, I'm kind of leaning to a 2.5 on this one myself. I'd still give it a recommend. It's not a bad watch. It's just it's disappointing. If you've watched The Collector and then you go into this film, which is pretty much how most people would. I mean, you could watch The Collection first, but why? I think you may be a little bit disappointed. If you're just going for the gore and stuff, yeah, there's plenty of blood in this. Plenty of blood. But, you know, if I also like a good story.
There's like no story in this.
There's no. It's the story is somebody got kidnapped. People are going to try and get her out, and you got to battle the Collector. It's like a video game, right? Like, this is the next level. You defeated the house level. Now you're into his lair. You know, that's essentially what it is. It's a video game, right? So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's your cup of tea. I don't know. Anything's possible. But I'd give it a recommend on the basis of if you're into those films, you're probably going to enjoy it. But you'll probably be a little bit disappointed if you go with higher than normal expectations for a film like this. Or based off of the first film, you may be going, I really enjoyed The Collector, can't wait for The Collection. I would suggest you tone it down a tad because you're probably going to be disappointed. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I think that's about all we can say about this one.
Yep, disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I put on the cover. I mean, you can't do that because then nobody wants to see it, but that's what I put, disappointing.
And it's funny because even though there isn't much story in this film, even with the story that's there that they're trying to tell, you could have made a better movie.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
You could have made a better movie. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much because it gives away aspects of the film. Not that really makes a difference too much, but we try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible.
You try. I
try.
I don't care. I would say anything. Just it. Stop it.
Anyways, more 31 Days of Horror to come because we're just starting off here. So stay tuned.
This is only day... Is it day 3? Oh, for God's sake.
28 more movies to go.
Yeah, for you.
Anyways, comment down below if you've seen the film, what you thought of it. You probably have. Love to hear from you. Keep it spoiler free because there are probably people who don't know of The Collector and The Collection, and now's their chance. But hey, we've said our piece, and somebody may down below be like, "No, you don't know what you're talking about. This is the best film ever."
Then you're stupid. I'm sorry. Don't comment below.
Now we're gonna get some comments below. That's for sure.
Well, that's fine. It's his channel.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one. Hello and welcome to an...
Don't freak him out.
So...
He's like, I want to play. I'm not freaked out.